Thursday night. Here we are again at Raceface.Pro. My name's Alan Patterson and you're joining me for round 6 of season 10 of the GT3 Championship. Laguna, Seca and the California desert, which has a lot of precipitation, as one can see. So, you're joining us as we start the qualifying. So let's get some formalities out the way. Here's where we're at. Famous historical track, Laguna, Seca. Like Spa in Belgium, it has the legendary corkscrew, a very special corner to this track only. Anti-clockwise running, start, finish down at the bottom. Hairpin, and with a couple of corners, up the hill, up the back straight to the corkscrew, then a wind down off the hills and back onto the start-finish line. So shortish track as far as tracks go on the circuit, but challenging track nonetheless. Having a quick look at the championship standings here. Just turning some track volume down here. I am trying some different settings with audio, so let me know if you can hear the cars as well and if it's all balanced. Driver standings, here we are. 3 rounds left. This is round 6, sorry. Kieran Patterson from PWSR Alpha still managing to hang on after missing last week's race due to our Eskom service providers. Morgan McCall for 80k closing in rapidly. Cody Sherrod there in 3rd place for PWSR, just behind Morgs. So tonight it's all to play for with the rain. Then it's the Hybrid Academy guys, Bago Frobler and 80k Sim Racing second team driver Christian Deploy rounds out your top 5. In the Drivers' Championships, beg your pardon, the Team Championships, PWSR Alpha managing to hang on there. Kieran and Cody contributing to that. 80k Sim Racing not that far behind now. Morgan McCall and Christian. And then 3rd place Hybrid Academy Pepsi Warriors, also within striking distance. Their second team, Hybrid Academy Adrenaline in 4th, and Kinetic Simworks Racing Prism rounds out your top 5. Alright, good. Let's see what's happening. And straight away, top of the charts, it's the almighty Mercedes-Benz AMG GT3s of 80k, Morgan McCall, a 129.3 in wettish conditions. It's not flooded, but the track's wet. You can see the 3 rain icons at the top, and it should be like this for the whole race. So pit strategies definitely going to come into play here for sure. Christopher Radloff very, very close there in 2nd place for Hybrid. Oh, and that just changed now. Bernard Burnsy King goes straight up into the 1st position. There he is. Kinetic Simworks Racing Prism. They are contenders in the championship series, team series, and good looking Aston there. So Burnsy up into pole. Morgs still there 2nd. Radloff 3rd. Jonathan Machotzi. This is a well-known driver who I think comes from the console environment, and he's been around quite a while and doing super well. He's decided to come race with us at Raceface, and he's right up there. Kieran Patterson, the current championship leader in his PWSR Honda NSX, rounds out your top 5 with Cody Sherrod, his teammate, right behind him in the big BMW M4. So there we go, that's where we stand at the moment. Good evening to our viewers and everybody on the YouTube channel. Thanks everyone for joining. JJ, Andy, how you boy? Keegan Sanderson, Chris, great to have you all here. Excuse me. No, I didn't go racing. There was just a really strange phenomenon that happened, that the stream I started was sending to another hidden, I don't know, I didn't use a different stream key, but it was just going to the wrong stream, so I had to stop it and restart it. We're good. Softer than usual. Right, that should help. I should have some more volume there. I have introduced another option where I can put Discord volume on another channel and the game audio on another channel, so I can turn the game up and down, and a fellow commentator, etc. So good, hope you can hear it now. Thanks. I'll turn the game audio down a bit then, and we should be good to go. Right, Bernard Barkhuizen, there he is for Kinetic Simworks Racing, and this is a fellow teammate with Burnsy, I think, Bernard King, but him and Ryan Ottens swapping positions, as we can see here. Ryan Ottens just coming out the pits for adrenaline. This is and one of the other cars was out in the sand as they came off the pit. I've got to say the pit exit is a little bit of a daft part of this track. You will see it this evening. You come out the pits, run parallel with the main straight down to the hairpin, and then you go around the hairpin all on your own. Here's Daniel Rowe. He's back from big car racing around the country, so good to have him back for the hybrid boys. And I'm just trying to see, here we go, we'll watch Mr. Dean Kabasa as he comes out the pits, and here you'll get an idea of what I'm talking about. If you mistime this pit exit, you throw yourself into a sand trap, and you're in a whole world of trouble. You're not allowed to cross over these solid lines. You're not allowed to drive onto the track here. You have to run down this little slip road, and then down here at the hairpin you have a stupidly narrow little like that, and then you peel onto the track, which kind of works. But if you're trying to do a very short timed exit out the pits and you speed too fast through that little pit exit, you run deep and you get into the sand in between the pit exit and T1, the hairpin, and there's been a whole lot of dramas there previously. Right, thanks for the feedback. We shall leave it there for now. Morgan McCall currently sitting in the pits. Kieran Patterson goes up into second place in the Honda. Both of them very close. 128.5 with Kieran Patterson, 1/10 off that. We'll go on board on the Honda and track him as he comes up the hill. Here's the corkscrew, the infamous corkscrew. Left, and then a 3-story drop off that mountain, and then a very sketchy long left-hander where the car gets very loose. And you can see the conditions for yourself. There are wet patches on the track. The track is definitely wet, and there was a whole lot of confusion for the pit lane there. Round the final turn onto the start-finish line, and he'll start another lap. Dropping down to Kabelo Matsamai. This is Prince KB, the entertainer, DJ, singer, and Kabillion Motorsport. This is the good-looking liveries that I was telling you about. He did extremely well in the Sprint Series last night, similar conditions, and got onto the podium. So great drive by him. So good to see some new blood and new talent coming to the fore, and he's very comfortable in this Porsche, racing with teammate Corné Strauss. I don't think Corné's racing tonight, so Cabello's going to be doing it for himself this evening here for Kabillion Racing. Mr. Eric Kirstein currently down in 18th. He's only 1.1 seconds off the pace. Have a look again at the times, even though it's in the rain. Here is Dean Kabasa. He's in 14th place, and he's... No, let's bump that down. So let's go to Grand Sebastian. Here he is. Heartbreak Motorsport. It's his team, this youngster. 1 second separates 15 cars at the moment for the Pro GT3 series. So you can get a really good idea of how competitive this series is. And keep in mind, at Raceface.Pro, there are 4 ACC series racing. This, the live stream version, which is the GT3 Pro series. Then there's the Pro Am Grid, there's the Am Gold, and then the Am Silver. So it's a very healthy league here in South Africa. Well through 100 drivers that participate and race every week on a Thursday night. So if this is something that you want to get involved in, head on over to Raceface.Pro and come and get involved. Get onto Discord, find the server name, or if you know somebody who's racing, they'll help you get on board, join up, and come and race. Some exciting events coming up in the future. Mr. Martin Rattenbach, Kinetic Simworks Racing Force, another team that's got 2 or 3 sub-teams racing. Kinetic Simworks fielding a big contingent of cars, drivers, similar to Hybrid Academy actually. Mr. Sean Skitter in the proverbial racing team Astra Lexus. Haven't seen this around for a while. He did take a little hiatus, but he is back and as strong as ever in the big V8 Lexus. Also, Mr. Connor Alexander, youngster that we tested for PWSR. He is back from some study leave and whatnot, and is giving it his best. So all the best to him. Conrad Volskink currently in the pits, as is Gideon Renner, and I'm not 100% sure if there are penalties this evening, so let me just go and have a look and see. We might have some quali bans, etc. And I'm glad to say that our live stewards are live, so should we get any penalties or things handed out, I should be able to read them off to you based on what is the deciding factor or the reason what's happened there. Mr. Steward, if you are listening to the live stream, can you confirm, are there any quali bans or anything like that for this evening? Specifically querying about Conrad Volskink and Gideon Renner, who are in the pits. They haven't done any laps. Are they in quali bans for any reason? I can't see anything. I will let you know if there is anything there. Right, let's get back to quali as it is, and Morgan McCall is back out. He's on the track for 80k. There are just on 3.5 minutes left of the qualifying, and as you can see, it's rain and more rain, so the guys need to be on their A game as far as wet weather tires, the tire pressures, and also the car setups, hybrid, or if they dedicated wet setups, or what the guys are driving. So we'll see how that goes. I am seeing a little stutter every now and then on the YouTube, so I've got a feeling there could still be some latent internet or network issue somewhere. But hopefully wherever you are, it's not affecting you and you're not getting any excuse me, any breakup or any drama. Right, so Morgan McCall at a 128.5 and is currently trying to improve that with just on 2 minutes to go. Kieran Patterson, it looks like he's resigned himself to second place. He's still in the pits. He's only a 10th off, and Cody Sherritt for PWSR in third place, still out on the track. So at the moment it's ATK, PWSR, then we have Ottens for Hybrid Academy, and then Matsamai for Kabylion Motorsport. That's your top 5. Porsches are extremely quick, I must say. Again, in the sprint series last night, the Porsches that were in the race were very rapid. So I expect to see a little surprise from Matsamai in his Porsche this evening, although he's only one of the Porsches driving. It'll be interesting to see if there is any change there. Cody Sherritt out in the PWSR BMW, and he's pushing hard to see if he can get closer, I guess, to Kieran and to Morgan McCall. Ryan Ottens also still out there, and I'm looking now at the Delta times with just on 2 minutes left. And Cody Sherritt currently is 2/10 up on his lap time, so I'm going to stick with him and watch him as he goes around. Morgan McCall's also 10th up as he goes into the middle sector. He's now heading up to there's a little funky left-hander kink coming up here that you've got to brake, miss the sausage curb, stay on the track, and now you head up towards the highest point on the track and the corkscrew. And Morgan is currently 2/10 up. So if he can get this as he goes over the top of the corkscrew, if he can bring this back down to the line, he's going to be good. Cody Sherritt, who is not too far back. No, Cody Sherritt's ahead of him. Here he is. There's Morgan McCall coming around that corner, and Cody Sherritt is 2/10 up. So this is going to improve him. This could put him in pole. And he goes to second place. He goes ahead of Kieran Patterson and Morgan McCall over the line. And he does improve, a 128.3. So Morg's extremely comfortable in the wet and showing them how to get around this track. So that's the end of that for him. Who else is on a quick one? Christopher Radloff, here he comes for Hybrid Academy Fury, and he's on a quick lap. He is currently a 10th up. JW Volskenk also a 10th up, and he is going into the middle sector. He's got some traffic ahead of him, but he's going to try and get this round and get to the start finish line and improve. Currently in 12th place for JW. Christopher Radloff going quicker. This is going to take him from 14th. He goes up to 12th. So 2 positions up the grid. That'll help. Oh, Francois Erasmus, up until that point, was up 3/10. So he's just blown away. A very good improvement. He would have gone into... We would have jumped all the way up to about 17th, 18th place, right up until that point. So that was unfortunate. Okay, sorry about the frame stutters. Not too sure what is what and where it is. Anybody else? Mac? Oh, he's finished. Okay. That's that. That, I believe, is quali. Yeah, JW is just idling around. Nobody else out on the track. So, there we go. Morgan McCall pole position, Cody Sherritt on the front row, pips Kieran Patterson, his teammate, who will share second row with Ryan Ottens from Hybrid Academy. I'm going to quickly go for...
Right, conditions are wet. We have some slippery curves, and also watch out for your braking distance.
There we go. So it's wet, and it's going to be wet for the foreseeable future. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Right, good. We're back. 30 seconds to go, and drivers should be firing up, lights coming on, and everyone prepping for their slow pace lap, which Morgan McCall will lead them round for ATK. As we've seen before, it's an absolutely amazing looking field of cars. The team liveries are fantastic. Great turnout by everybody this season. They seem to be getting better and better as we go along. So there we go. Oh yes, I've just realized who we're missing. Our friend Jason Luck is not here from BWR in his Porsche. I'm not too sure what's happened there, but he's not making it tonight. So, and Corné Strauss, who's Cabello's teammate's not here, so only the single Porsche this evening. So definitely, we've got Connor Alexander that hasn't pulled off at the start-finish line. No, that's not him. It's Christian Fenter. Oh, that's him. He's going. It's Kieran Patterson. Is he going? Oh, have I got him dropping all the way down? He's been having some PC issues of late, I believe, and something has happened again that he hasn't managed to get going or start the car. I don't know if he's got a wheel problem, but he better hurry up, whatever he has to do. Sure, this is bad luck. I'm sure whatever he's trying to do, he's trying to get it fixed and going, but he hasn't moved yet. And the field are up at the top. Oh, they're at the corkscrew already, so this could be a whole lot of drama for him. I don't know if he is still just sitting there or if he's exited the game. I think Kieran Patterson has left the game. He's not on the track anymore. So if he does reconnect, he's going to be coming back in the pits. That's huge drama for our current points leader. Okay, as we come down to the main straight, and I'm watching Mr. Brendan Kruger, who managed to get his BMW Kinetic Simworks Racing Prism car up into 4th place. So a bit of a promotion there with Patterson unfortunately disconnecting. So I've got to think maybe his PC is hung up or he's trying to reboot and he's going to get in and start from the pit lane. There is a hybrid car in the pits, I can see, so getting ready to go. Here we go.
Green light.
And it's green light, we're off. We've got Ryan Ottens in the middle of the track, and we've got Brendan Kruger going up the inside in the BMW. And into T1, hard on the brakes, going up the inside, and round T1 they come, and it looks all good and clean. And McCall making it and that's Christian at the back. Fente in the PWSR BMW getting a big slide on. I think he caught it. So 80k, it's Morgs McCall out in pole with Cody Sherritt in his BM in 2nd, Brandon Kruger in his BMW in 3rd, and then we've got Ryan Ottens for hybrid in 4th, with Motsama in 5th in his Porsche. Great start from them. Up we go over the top of the corkscrew and heading down for the first time. Everyone going nose to tail, as we can see. Going to look a little bit further back. Christian Fente is still running, and he's got JW Volskenk right next to him for hybrid. So in amongst the thick of things, we're going to drop even further back as David Sparks in that awesome two-tone BMW. He's down in 21st place, so massive field, as you can see. Daniel Rowe, he was the man in pit lane, so possibly either a problem or he's just chosen to start from the back of the grid. But I've got Daniel Rowe there, and Kieran Patterson has in fact hasn't come back onto the server, so that's it, he's out. Morgan McCall currently leading, and Cody Sherritt hanging on to 2nd. Last night, Morgan McCall, I think he won this race by 15 or 16 seconds. He was so clean in the rain and so comfortable with the car setup. So he's already got, 1.3 seconds out on Cody Sherritt, who is going to desperately try and hang on to that 2nd place and keep the likes of Kruger and Ottens and company behind him. Bernard Barkhuizen in 6th place. He is right there. In fact, we're going to drop down to him. He is trying to withstand the pressure from Mac van der Merwe in his BMW, as we can see them coming up to the top of the corkscrew, hard on the brakes as they take the left and then drop down through the right. Mac van der Merwe showing some immense speed as well of late and doing really well. Bernard Barkhuizen for Kinetic Simworks Racing, and he powers through, and the field follow him as they come up to the last corner. Also see Christopher Radloff in there, the hybrid car with the orange highlights. And further back, that's JW Volskenk having a huge dice. Here he comes down the main straight. Right behind him, we've got Mr. Johan Bego Grobler, also for a hybrid. And he is chasing Jonathan Machotzi. So the Mercedes is having a thick battle here. And looking further back, it's just a train of cars as they come along in these very treacherous conditions. I'll tell you what, you can't afford to touch a sausage curb. You've got to be so light on the accelerator on the painted sections. But everything looked good and clean at the moment with these guys. Peter Oosthuizen switching to a BMW
It is now open.
for BWR. He was in a McLaren as far as I can recall. Kalen Mawa in his BMW looking at the back of David Sparks. Thought there was a move to be had. Oh, Cabello Motsama in the pits, so he's in early from 5th place. Cabello. Then a couple of other Christian Venter. Oh, and as I pick on him, the Lexus goes sideways through the Sean Skitter, the Lexus of Racing Team Astra. Oh, and he's not having a good time of it. I suspect he probably had it coming together with Christian Venter because they are right down at the bottom. Here's Christian Venter, and they both coming into the pits. No, only Christian comes in. Right, so the pit lane is lit up. I've got Tina and Kubi. Look at this. We've got a whole bunch of cars in here. So pit lane is open, and cars are already doing their strat pit stops. Remember, this is a 2 pit stop race. One is a strategy stop, and the other one probably a refuel or whatever. So some of the guys opting to take early first pit stops, and they're up and going. Right, back up to the leader, Morgan McCall. He's already 3 seconds up the road. And Cody Sherritt putting a little bit of daylight between him and Brandon Kruger, who's following in the BMW. We're going to go on board with Ryan Ottens. Have a look here. See the conditions, not as bad as we had at the mountain a few weeks ago. Ryan Ottens following right under the wing of Brandon Kruger as they come down the main straight into T1. Daniel Rose got a huge problem up ahead, and that's allowed Ron Ottens to get right next to him. They are side by side as they come through that turn. Oh, it's all on here. I tell you what, let's watch this. This corner. Oh, no. Ron Ottens was being super optimistic there. Brandon Kruger managed to get away with that one, but he had a huge moment halfway through that lap, and Ryan Ottens, he wanted to get past him as quickly as he could. Dropping down to Gideon Renner here in 18th place in the Kinetic Simworks race in BMW. And he's looking up ahead at young Connor Alexander in a McLaren these days. Some nice close racing going on here. Right behind Eric Kirstein in his BMW, also following suit. Oh no, that was bad luck. Eric Kirstein getting into a whole lot of trouble. Oh, there he is. Let's go and watch that happen. I think he hits the sausage curb on this T2, yeah. Brakes nicely, turns in. Oh, he's just outbraked himself, and then gets the tank slapper, and that's that, into the kitty litter. So he's going to have to do a nice donut and do a safe return. Very good turnaround there. And we're back and going. Oh, look at the penalties being handed out here. So Gideon Renner and Connor Alexander drive through in 5 seconds. I will go and find out if I can see what that's about. Right, 5-second penalty to car 66. That is Connor Alexander. Incident involving car 424. And 424. Sorry, guys, bear with me. Let me just get. Okay, so 424 is Conrad Fulskink. So he got a little. He had an incident, also in a McLaren with Connor. He's down in 22nd here. So 5-second penalty to Connor. It was obviously a little bit of a tap. And then 997 and 38. Car 997 gets a drive-through penalty. That's Gideon Renner, who we were watching just now. And apparently that incident was between him and car 38. 38 being Jaco Nordia, who is the Honda. So clearly quite a severe incident that happened there. And Gideon Renner has been given a drive-through penalty for that. Oh dear, and as I put the camera on him, Mr. Noidier goes for a little skate down the hill in that Honda. Does manage to catch it, and he needs to get back on nice and easy. Does so, and stays out of the racing line, so that's good stuff by him, and on he goes. And we see one of the hybrid cars comes into the pits. That is Daniel Rowe himself. So he started at the back of the grid. Oh, and I can see that Porsche hasn't come out the pits, so that's unfortunate. Kabela Motsumai, he pitted on the second lap and just never came back out the pits. So I don't know what that's about, but that is bad luck. He's still in the pits, and it looks like he's retired. Or he's disconnected, I'm not too sure. No, Chris, sorry. That is not commentator's curse. It is not a thing that I brought with me when I joined this league. It just kind of happens. But I'll keep it away from you. Right, coming up to 1 hour left on this 80-minute race. A lot of drivers have completed their first pit stop already. The quickest of that being Bernard Bernsey King down in 21st place. So we will see how much time he makes up when those ahead of him start pitting. Morgan McCall out by 5.5 seconds. Then it's Cody Sherritt for PWSR in second place. Brandon Kruger in third place for Kinetic Simworks. And Ryan Ottens following him round for Hybrid Academy Adrenaline. Then we have Mac van der Merwe, who is 2.5 seconds further back for Kinetic Simworks Racing Vibe, followed by Bernard Barkhuizen for Kinetic Simworks Racing, Christopher Radloff, Hybrid Academy Fury, here's JW Fulskink in 9th place in the Hybrid Academy Adrenaline car. Oh, it suspiciously looked like he might have been cutting that corner. And Johan Bego Krobler right behind him for the Pepsi Warriors. This the current charging Hybrid Academy team. Mayo chasing Radloff through T1. Jonathan Machotzi, here he is in 11th place in the Mercedes. Dean Cabasa going over the corkscrew with Darren Miller, right behind him. Yeah, De Villiers, I'm not too sure what you're referencing about last week, but anyway. Also have no idea if Mochetso is in fact the teammate. The car he's driving doesn't say he's in the team. I know it's a default game livery, but that's what I know. Anyway, all good. Here's Mr. Tina Nkubi down in 27th in his BMW. Right, so also a 5-second penalty being issued to car number 10, which is Cabello, who is he hasn't come back out the pit, so possibly that was the incident or an incident he had with car 314, and car 314 seems to have left the game possibly, or I can't see who it is. Oh, 314's Christian Venter, who is in the pits at the moment and has left the game. So that's unfortunate. Okay, let's see what's happening here. Darren Miller all over the back of Dean Cabasa's BMW as they come down the main straight. So we'll watch this as they're super close at the moment. Darren Miller flying the Winfield BMW colours, a retro colour scheme to Tony Viana's old, I think it was an M5 BMW that he used to race in the South African production series, modified series. Christopher Radloff under the wing of Bernard Barkhuizen through the corkscrew, and I mean literally, I can't believe they hadn't touched coming through there. Radloff pushing super hard for Hybrid Academy. Right, so I was just counting gear shifts there, and Christopher Radloff's coming over the top of the mountain, what sounds like in second gear, and down the corkscrew. So I think he's carrying a bit more momentum than Mr. Barkhuizen just up ahead of him, and that's why he gets so close to him. But this Mercedes, it makes such an awesome sound. Great sounding racing car. Ryan Otten still a half a second off the back of Brandon Kruger as they carry on circulating. Dropping down to Gideon Renner. Yeah, look at this traffic jam. Justin Lotus. And he's got 3 cars right behind him, including Sean Skitter and David Sparks coming up the inside in the BMW. Oh, can't turn in. There's a car there. Oh, David Sparks taking no prisoners as he comes through there. Gee whiz. A lot of trust being shown by everybody. And then look just up ahead of him, Renner having a quick look in the green and black BMW. He's wanting to get up the inside of Justin Lotus. So, gee, it's all happening here. Now, here we go. Sparks gets a good drive, decides that's not the corner to try it. Up the hill they come to the corkscrew. This is going to be interesting. Look at the Lexus. Look at the Lexus. He's looking, but he's not going. And that's Wise Racing. And now just up ahead of him, Gideon Renner and Justin Lotus. So awesome dice going on here for 22nd, 23rd. This is now when you got to consider coming into the pits possibly because you're being held up due to traffic. This is what that other strat is for. So Gideon Renner deciding against it, and now Sparks getting a double draft up the inside. They're almost 3 abreast into T1. Oh, and there's a bit of contact there, and Sparks gets he turns himself around. He did hit the side of Gideon Renner's BMW, but he comes off second worst. And let's put paid to David Sparks. He is just going backwards right now. There he is. Drops down from that dice, and it drops about 4 positions. Into the grasp of Mr. Daniel Rose, we can see just up ahead, who has, I think that's the leader who's coming up behind him. So that's also an indication of just how quick Morgan McCall is in the wet. No, that's not. So that is his teammate, who is also very out of position. Let me just catch up here. My timing screen is sleeping. So that's Christian Deploy. Here he is down in 31st place. So besides Matsumai in the pits, Christian Deploy literally in last place at the moment. And we do have Kieran Patterson back in the race. So he has reconnected. He is 3 laps down, unfortunately, but good to see him on the track and going. So he must have had an issue somewhere and had to disconnect and reconnect. Hey Rob, how's it, man? Yeah, Keegan, it's not the Jag, it's the Aston Martin V12. That sounds good. That's the car that makes a good sound, my man. But I agree, any of the old V12s makes a great sound. Okay, got some more penalties here. Mr. Nordia with the drive-through in 29th. Sean Skitter with a 15-second penalty. I will go and pick up. It's Sean Skitter, car number 113, gets a 15-second penalty for avoidable contact on car number 10. That was Matsumai's Porsche, who went into the pits on literally the second lap and just decided not to come out, which it's kind of just not the right thing to do. You know, if you've got an incident or you've had an issue, fix the car and come back out and race. It's an 80-minute race. So, well. we'll keep on going. Here's Morgan McCall, 8 seconds up the road. We could literally call him the Rheinmeister because he is ridiculously in control. He is so comfortable in the wet weather with this big Mercedes, and metronomical lap times, one after the other, pretty much showing the entire pro field how to drive around a wet track. Cody Sherritt hanging on to second place, 8 seconds further back, with Brandon Kruger 6 seconds behind him, and Ryan Otten still there, just half a second back, with Mac van der Merwe running out your top 5. Yeah, thanks, Rob. I didn't know if he was going to be second best or worse. The other car didn't spin, so he lost in total. That's what it was. Going down to Franz Erasmus. Here he is. And Franz Erasmus having fun out in the Honda. And he's right behind Martin Rautenbach, with Conrad Volskeg right behind him in his McLaren. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if you've noticed, this is a livery update that's happened to this car. The Kinetic Simworks Racing Team Hex cars, and all of a sudden this just looks so much better, this McLaren of Conrad Volskeg. So great looking livery on that car, the green and orange on the black. And I think it's Martin Rautenbach up ahead who is the man responsible for these liveries for Kinetic Simworks, and I think they look awesome. Right, that was Martin Rautenbach actually getting out of the way of everybody, so I don't know, he must have had a moment there, but he literally pulled over and let those two cars go sailing by, and that was for position. Oh, and there's it's Mr. Eric Kirstein again, not having a good time in the background there. So he had a little bit of a wobble coming through this little chicane, tight left, not chicane, coming up towards the chicane, the corkscrew. My timing screen is doing some really strange things this evening, so just bear with me. I might be a bit slower than usual, but it is just not behaving. I don't know if I am possibly having a network issue or not, but we'll keep on going. Right, so Mr. Skitter carrying a 15-second penalty, and he peels off into the pits. Hard braking and a very sharp hairpin to the left. That Lexus looking very worse for wear as they both come into the pits. Francois Erasmus chasing Connor Alexander up the hill, and here they come into the corkscrew. Connor running a bit deep, Francois getting a good drive with the Honda and looking to sand it, but doesn't get sufficient drive up the inside of that McLaren. "50 minutes and counting of this 80-minute race, so half an hour done, and we should see the first of default pit strategies happening in the next, I don't know, 8 to 10 minutes. So let's see what happens. Hey Dion on YouTube, I'm going to say no. You can't expect any dry racing here today. From what I understand, this is based on the real weather conditions currently going on at Laguna Seca, and it is wet there and raining. So not as bad as we saw in the endurance race at Bathurst, but still a decent challenge for the drivers to manage on this little tight and twisty track. And also with a huge field today, there was 32 cars at the start. Guys have done exceptionally well considering. Right, Darren Miller here again in the Winfield car, and he's right behind Dean Cabasa. BMW's having a almighty battle here. And this for 12th, 11th and 12th. I'm going to just do a fast test on the autopilot camera system. Just make sure everything's still working here. And we jump to Bernard Barkhuizen, currently in 6th place, looking backwards at Christopher Radloff, who's chasing him down. Bernard Barkhuizen's put up with a whole bunch of pressure all race. Just up ahead of them, it's Mac van der Merwe in the BMW as he goes over the start-finish line. And here you can see pretty treacherous conditions. Yeah, Dion, I've got to say, and you, Rob, if you're listening, it's going to be a long time coming for Morgan McCall to win a race smoothly and without making any mistakes, and I think this is going to be the one. He's certainly very, very efficient around here in the Mercedes. Almost a 10-second gap now over Cody. So if all goes according to plan, he should have this one in the bag, so to speak, flag to flag. Radloff still pushing hard right underneath the wing of Barkhuizen. They drop off that tabletop of corkscrew and wind their way down the mountain back to the start-finish straight. Ooh, it's the Honda, or it was the Honda just up ahead. That was wide through T1. Right, dropping down to Conor Alexander, who's got Conrad Volkskenk all over him. It's the two McLarens here. And Conrad trying to get his nose in on that other McLaren of Connor's. Not sure which way to go. Hard braking now into the final turn, and they all slowed down without touching. That's some very good driving by everyone involved. Conrad Volkskenk right under the wing here, getting a good draft as they go down to T1. Dean Cabasa, here he is in a BMW sandwich. And Daniel Rowe, who started at the back of the grid, possibly even in the pit lane, I think. Back to Dean Cabasa. Right, my camera app has in fact died a horrible death right here. So I need 20 seconds to fix this, so bear with me. I'll be back shortly. Right, back sorted. Had to do a quick stop and restart. And Con Alexander here, all on his own all of a sudden. So I think there was a problem somewhere with as he comes into the pits. Conrad Volskank, who has a stop go 30 done in 20 seconds. So he obviously came in for a pit stop and sped coming into his pit stop. As we see Dean Cabasa, Grant Sebastian, Connor Alexander and a couple of others come into the pits. Right, Cody Sherritt, our leader at the moment. Morgan McCall has in fact done his first pit stop. You can see he's down in 7th place. Here he is. So some strategy moves getting done and happening. Brandon Kruger, him and Ryan Ottens. Look at this. Ryan Ottens seems to have got the jump on him. I'm going to go back 30 seconds and have a look at this. Okay, so the pass had happened already. Ryan Ottens did in fact get ahead of Brandon Kruger, who then brought the fight back to him over the start-finish line and down to T1, as you can see. Ryan Ottens putting the Mercedes in the middle of the track, and Brandon Kruger just, Ryan Ottens almost outbraked himself there, but closes the door quite firmly in Brandon's face, and on they go. So good, solid racing going on right here for 2nd and 3rd place. So as we can see on the timing screen, Morgan McCall in 7th place, the first driver to essentially have done of the top 10 to have done the his strategy pit stop. So he's in and out, and has to then do his normal pit stop, which will be happening shortly. Or alternatively, that was his strategy, his normal pit stop, and he's got one more to do. So we'll see what happens. But this quite a good race happening here at the moment with Ottens and Kruger. I'm gonna just go, at least my screen's behaving again. So right at the back we have Mr. Christian Deploy in 30th place, and he is circulating down here, not making up position, so, and he hasn't pitted yet either. So Christian Deploy is still going to have to do 2 pit stops, but clearly not enjoying the conditions. 29th place, Kieran Patterson, who did qualify in 3rd place, but then had a disconnect at the start of the game, had to get out, rejoin the game, and unfortunately is 2 or 3 laps down. Also having to do 2 pit stops, so he's just here and hoping for some dramas up ahead of him. Sean Skitter also down here in 27th. carrying a little bit of a penalty and has done one pit stop. Still got his second pit stop to do. And there we see Bernard Burnsy King in the pits in 18th place. So he's getting his out the way. This will be the first of both pit stops to get done and dusted for Kinetic Simworks Racing. Niall, hey buddy, how are you, man? Thanks for joining us. And yeah, this I was hoping you might get involved in the normal GT3 Championship League. And there we go. That's what I was saying. If you outbrake yourself, this strange little pit exit, you get into a whole world of trouble. But yeah, Niall, good to see you here, man. And I hope you had fun in that endurance. And yeah, we're going to be looking at enjoying this little team event that we're going to have happen at the LNR League. Right, Cody Shearer, currently our leader. Yet to do any pit stops, and he's 8 seconds up the road from Mr. Ottens, who has Brandon Kruger still right there. Brandon Kruger putting in an awesome effort in the Kinetic Simworks Racing BMW. And well, I expect we should see some guys coming into the pits shortly. '15th place, it's Peter Oosthuizen chasing Dean Kabasa. Peter Oosthuizen, as I say, who I'm sure has migrated from the McLaren into the BMW for this halfway through the season, and looking very racing the BMW. Yeah, Chris, indeed. Kieran, a 128.5 was his quickest. Morgan McCall's quickest, a 128.6. So if he didn't have the drama that he's had, which I'm sure I'll be trying to fix tomorrow, or finding out whatever's wrong with the machine, he would have been there or thereabouts in this race. So this isn't helping his season at the moment. Oosthuizen, thick of things right here. Let's go to Gideon Renner here in 21st place, and he has he's just gone past Grant Sebastian. We'll go back 30 seconds and have a look at this. So Grant Sebastian in the purple and black car as they go up to the corkscrew, and this is where Gideon's going to make a move. It's a good drive coming up to the corkscrew into the braking zone. He is on the inside for the corner, and there's nothing Sebastian can do, and that's a nice clean pass for Renner. And he goes up into 20th. Couple of incidents down here, as you can see. Let me try and catch up on these penalties. So we have incident car 269 and 113. It's a 5-second penalty for car 113. That's Mr. Skitter in the Lexus. Avoidable contract. Then incident 113 and 269. It's a 15-second penalty for car 269, which is Justin Lotus. Avoidable contact. And then incident with car 424 and 66. 66, I beg your pardon. 5-second penalty for car 424. That's Conrad Forsking. So those guys getting involved in some serious dices, but in the rain it's so easy to have avoidable or unavoidable contact, whichever way you want to look at it. In the rain it's not easy, but close racing does inevitably involve some form of contact somewhere. Anywho, our leader is Ryan Ottens. Brandon Kruger now in second place, as we see Cody Sherritt having pitted. So Morgan McCall up into fourth place. Here he is. And Cody Sherritt, who has also pitted, is 22 seconds back. So I think there was a strategy pit stop there between these two, and it's all going to be to play for as we head into the last 30 minutes of this race. Yeah, no, agreed. Thanks, man. And yeah, the endurance was good, and I totally understand about you taking a break, as has my usual teammate Chris. He's just he likes to just take the you know what out of me on the live streams. Yep, Kalen, here he is in 8th place and running very well for Pace Motorsport. Kalen Mawa managing to keep out of everyone else's dramas and is up there, having done one of the pit stops. So running very well. Dion Portketter, I see you retracted your messages about a Mercedes winning this race. We know what you said, so we'll have to wait and see. Right, going to Christopher Radloff in 11th place. And this is Radloff Fury chasing JW Fullscreen just up ahead. I tell you, that little kink to the left is so sketchy in these conditions. Nice straight line through that corkscrew. No, Chris, it's all good, buddy. I'm just I'm ragging you. And there we go, Radloff into the pits, as is Jonathan Makotsi. I've also decided to take a little bit of a break, and I will reconvene in a couple of weeks' time or get racing. Ryan Ottens still hasn't come into the pits, and we've got 30 minutes left. So these guys all have to start considering what they're going to do and when they're going to do it. Ottens, Kruger and Van der Merwe, all three of them still having to do 2 pits. Then we have McCall up the road from Sherritt by 23 seconds. They've both done 1 pit stop. Then Miller still to do 2. And then Kalen Mawa, Bagger Grobler, Volskenk, Rowe and the field that have completed their 1 pit stop. So these drivers still having to do 2. They've got to actually get them done, because I would hesitate to guess people are undercutting quite severely with the double pit stop strategy. Current leaders with the drivers having done both pit stops is Christopher Radloff in 13th place. So he's got everything out the way and he's just driving to the end. Paramilla comes into the pits in the Winfield car, as does Conor Alexander in the blue McLaren. So they're getting their second pit stops done and dusted. Excuse me. I do like the new look of the Kinetic Simworks cars. I think the new liveries are superb. Okay, we've had a possible penalty going to car number 8, who is disconnected for an incident. And the driver essentially just quit. D Sparks. So I think that'll be something for him to deal with in the next race. Thank you, Mr. Steward. Okay. Let's see what's happening here. 19th place. It's Peter Westhuizen. And wow, is he having a huge race with Gideon Renner right now. Gideon Renner still has to do a pit stop, but Peter Westhuizen right there with him at the moment and following him around the track. Brandon Kruger in the pits, our leader. And I'll tell you, the pit has got a very vicious little turn as you come into the pits. So Morgan McCall, there you can see that sharp little turn, and he goes down the straight and takes back first place. So Morgan McCall into first place. Ryan Ottens has in fact pitted, and he's out in 5th behind Cody Sherritt, 10 seconds back for that matter. So Mac van der Merwe, who will still now need to get his pit stop done. And here is Mac. And there behind him you can see is the second place car, the ATK car. And that's Christian Deploy. Quite a ways out of shape on this in this race this evening. Brandon Kruger out in 3rd place. Cody Sherritt, 4th place at the moment, with Mac van der Merwe up ahead, still having to get his pit stop done. So that's your top 3 at the moment. Ryan Ottens in 4th place, he is 10 seconds back. And then Kalen Mawa will be in 5th place, rounding out your top 5. 26 minutes left. Here we go, coming down to the important bits. Johan Baker Krobler arriving onto the back of Kalen Mawa and now going to apply a whole lot of pressure. And as I say that, Kalen Mawa peels off for his second pit stop. So pretty wide gaps now spread out across the field. Trying to find something to go and watch. Darren Miller, here we go. He's a pit stop down on Bernard Burnsy King for 14th and 15th place, but close proximity on the track, as you can see. Place, it's Bernard Burnsy King, still chasing Jonathan Machotzi. Aston on Mercedes battle going on here to Laguna Seca. Still see a lot of standing water on the track, so solid constant rain for the entire period. Bernard King closing right up here and trying to get inside Machotzi's head through the final turn and gets a good drive through T1. We're going to go to the helicam and we'll see if he does if he stays out on the inside into T1. They're coming down the hill now for the braking, and Machotzi takes the Mercedes right across the bow, but now Bernard King almost gets the Aston up the inside, and he is trying to get into Machotzi's head. Lots of lights flashing going on. I think the frustration setting in because Bernard King has completed all his pit stops, but Machotzi still has to pit. But it doesn't matter, it's still a race for position, and Machotzi runs very wide there. Does Bernard get a drive? He does, but only back up to the back of the Mercedes. We had the McLaren off just up ahead, and then Conrad Volkskrink, I think. But white flags, he gets it going again, and everything's good. Oh, Bernard almost runs into the back of Machotzi. Now trying to send it up the inside in the final turn, and Machotzi runs too deep, and Bernard gets the pass done. The mistake is made. Machotzi outbrakes himself, and Bernard goes through. Miller into the pits for his second pit stop in the BMW. So, as he usually does, Mac van der Merwe up in second place at the moment. He hasn't done any pit stops. He's now been driving for 60 minutes. So, leaving everything until lastminute.com. and hoping that that strategy will pay out for him where he's we've got a slow Mercedes here. This is a hybrid car. Is that Christopher Radloff? It is. Let's go back 30 seconds. Christopher Radloff's had a huge moment. Oh, he hits the sand. Oh, look at that. And he's hit the wall and spun it. Oh, that's bad luck for Mr. Radloff. Currently in 11th when that happened. And now having to turn the car around. Gets a good donut done. Not in anybody's real racing way. And here comes the cars we're following. It's a little bit of drama there for hybrid. Oh dear, and we've got Kieran on the chat saying his PC's packed up. Oh well, bad luck. We shall have a look at it tomorrow. Rebuild on its way. Right, Morgan back into the lead. So, Mac van der Merwe to complete his second pit stop. And there we go, Sherrod comes in for his. So Cody peels off, got one of the early boxes, and comes in to stop. There we can see the Honda just up ahead of Franz Erasmus. So Cody pitting, and this is getting his pit stop out the way. Let's see where Kalen Mawa is, because that is the first driver. And Kalen Mawa is still going up towards the corkscrew, so he's at least 30 seconds off the back of Cody Sherrod, who I think is rolling already. So this was his strat pit stop that he's getting done. And out he comes in 5th place. Now he's just got to keep everything clean and tidy and not get into anyone else's drama. And there's Volksking just behind him, JW. No, it's not. It is Daniel Rowe, I believe. It's Daniel Rowe. There he is. In 7th place, having started, I think, at the back of the grid. So again, a masterclass from this man. So we just got to wait for these 6-7 drivers, including Mac, to get on with their pit stops, and we shall see what transpires in the last 15 minutes. 17th place, let's go and see Peter Oosthuizen. He's just past Tina and Kubi, in fact. He has. Let's go back 30 seconds and see what happens here. Oh, and Tina running wide there. Running very wide there, and Peter sends it up the inside coming down the hill, and that pass is done. Nothing much Tina and Kubi can do about that. He was just way too wide coming off the top of the mountain, and Peter Oosthuizen slides up into 16th. Back live with you, and we have Ryan Ottens in the pits and out the pits and heading down the hill. Here he comes. Now I've got to brake and control the car through this little tight hairpin, which he does perfectly. And our leader comes in. There's Morgan. Morgan, first box, so he's got to pull in and stop, and he stops. We'll see if this is a long or a short stop. This is not the he's off already, so that wasn't short. Right, where's Cody Sherrod? Oh no, he's still going up the hill, Cody Sherrod. So Morgs is coming out miles ahead. And yeah, it's unless he's carrying any possible off tracks, I think Morgan McCall is going to get it done this evening. Mac van der Merwe currently leading, but he's got to bring his car in for 2 stops. Brandon Kruger also got a pit soon. Right, Daniel Rowe putting a whole lot of pressure on the back of young Cody Sherrod. See Daniel Rowe having some steering inputs there, just showing what the inevitable loose setup is of this Mercedes. He's quickest lap of 1:29.1 for Daniel Rowe. So the Mercedes is doing really well also around Laguna Seca, obviously with Morgan McCall having led, but Brandon Kruger and Cody Sherritt holding up the BMW flags. And I think that will be your top three this evening, unless there's some major drama still to be happening. Daniel Rowe going to leave his pit stop right up until the last minute, as is Mac van der Merwe. We see some cars. That's Kilian Renner, I think, coming out the pits. And Mac comes in. So, one pit stop coming up. Morgan McCall heading down the hill and coming onto the start-finish line. Mac van der Merwe is there. This looks like the long pit stop that he's getting done. Morgs is going by. There he is. And back into the lead he goes. Brandon Kruger not that far back, I'll tell you what, 1.8 seconds, but he's still got to do his pit stop, so not much is going to change as far as the lead happens. And then Cody Sherritt 7-8 seconds further back. Here he comes onto the start finish line. And the pit stops are happening. The last pit stops, people are in and out. Martin Rautenbach. So Jonathan Machotzi still got to do his. Rowe, Volskank, Van der Merwe and Kruger, all of them respectively, with just on 11 minutes and a few seconds change. Going to be tight between Brandon Kruger and Cody Sherritt. That's the race on track. So we're waiting for this man to come in, and it's not going to happen this lap as he goes past the pit entry. Mac van der Merwe coming down the hill. Is he going to come in for his second one? Also not. JW Volskank currently in fourth. He's also got to get his second stop done. And he comes towards the pit entry, and he does come in. So, slow down to 50. And then this very hard, tight left-hander as they come right past our camera. And in he goes to get his last pit stop done and dusted. See the Honda still there of Franz Erasmus. So I don't know if he's retired. Although that's... Is that his? It's not. There's Francois Erasmus. So there's another Honda sitting in the pits. That's Jacques Naudier down in 29th place. And he hasn't come back out the pits, so I think he's retired as well. Right, Brandon Kruger, let's see. He's going over the corkscrew. And Mac van der Merwe just coming up to the corkscrew. So these guys all still to pit. Brandon runs through. Matt goes through. Last man still to pit in this group, and it's Daniel Rowe as he comes down. And he'll wait a good couple of minutes still. 8.5 minutes to go, and Cody Sherritt looking for track position over Brandon Kruger. That's what we're waiting for this car to come into the pits, and then we will see who is going to be second place on the grid. Morgan McCall up the road by 5.5 seconds to Brandon Kruger with a whole pit stop in hand. So it's been a super powerful demonstration by the ATK Racing driver. Brandon Kruger coming down towards the pits again. We'll see if he comes in now. They have to get the pit stop done before, and he does. So here we go. This is it now. It's got to be within 4 minutes of the end of the race. It's 4 or 6 minutes, I'm not sure. But in he comes. Mac van der Merwe, in he comes. So here we go. Cody Sherritt, where is he? Here he's coming down towards the last turn. Where's Brandon Kruger? He's rolling already. This is going to be tight. Here comes Cody. I think he's going to be going past him. There he is in the pit lane. So Cody goes back into second place. Brandon Kruger out the pits in third place. And Daniel Rowe still to pit. Mac van der Merwe comes out in fifth. So Mac is in fact going to jump up into fourth place. So it looks like your final result with 6.5 minutes to go is going to be McCall from Sherritt from Kruger. Good racing happening here this evening, but masterclass by Morgan McCall for sure. This young man really hasn't put a foot wrong today. Mercedes looks as good as it did when he started, and enters the start-finish straight for the 49th time. 49 laps with 6 minutes left. 30. Yeah, it's like 4 laps left here then. And we'll see what the gap is from McCall to Sherritt soon. It's showing almost a lap. Daniel Rowe comes in from third place, having to get that pit stop done and dusted. It is in the last 4 minutes. The pit window will then close. So Brandon Kruger does go through. There he is, up into third place. Ryan Ottens goes over for fourth. And Daniel Rowe still in the pits. Mac van der Merwe, he goes over for fifth. Jan Baker Krobler, where is he? Here he comes. This is teammates of Daniel Rowe. And he goes past. There's Daniel Rowe on the left. And he's rolling. So Baker Krobler goes up into sixth. And JW Volschking, he goes past as well. So he moves up into seventh. Oh, almost outbreaks himself into T1. We'll see Daniel Rowe on the inside there. Here he comes. And Kalen Mawa, in fact, just ahead. So Kalen Mawa is up into 8th place. And Daniel Rowe out in 9th. So starting from the back and getting all the pit stops done, he is in the top 10. Four minutes and some change to the end of the race, and just scouting through the the field, looking for a close race. Miller here right behind Tina and Corby.
Pit window is closing now.
Right, pit window's closed. So if they haven't done it, it's bad luck. But it looks like everyone's done it. All pit stops finished. Darren Miller chasing Tina and Corby here for 15th and 16th. A whole lot of steering inputs there while Darren Miller's trying to catch the sliding BMW. Trying to rattle Tina and Corby's cage a bit. Darting in and out and making him watch in his mirrors. Okay. Early braking as they come up to the top of Corkscrew. Oh, and Tina Corby, he's lost it. Got a huge slide there, and Darren Miller goes up the inside of it. Tina Corby had a problem there. Let's watch that happen. Right off the exit, Tina Corby does in fact catch it, but it's allowed Darren to get the Winfield BMW up the inside of him, and that is position change done. Miller into 15th place. Let's go and look at Dean Kabasa. Dean Kabasa on the back of Jonathan Machotzi. These guys having a huge task. So what this is going to in effect do with Patterson having retired, it's allowed Mr. Oh, someone's off here. Oh, the Mercedes is off. Jonathan Machotzi goes off, and Dean Kabassa's gone through. Yes, okay, there he is. But he's also got a huge race going on. What is going on there? Now Machotzi's coming back at him as they come up to the top. Oh, a little bit of a lockup, but through they come. Jeez, look at this racing going on with these guys. Tina on the outside. Jonathan Machotzi does ascend up the inside and takes that position back. Oh my word. What's going on with the ATK card? Almost ran into the back of somebody. Was that Christian Deploy? It was. Sorry. Okay, so as I was saying, this is going to close the championship up completely. If not, change the lead as far as the Drivers' Championship goes. So that the last 3 rounds, the last 2 rounds, which I can tell you are standby. No, I don't want that. I want this. We go to the almighty legendary Spa next week. That is round 7. And then the final round we're going to, which will be the deciding factor, and that is Misano. So Spa and Misano to go for the last 2 rounds of this championship series. That's going to produce a great result for this championship. Morgan McCall, and we'll go with him as he does his final lap 53 round a super wet Laguna Seca. Great job there, Rob. Can pat the kid on his back. That's a superb bit of skill and a driving lesson this evening for Morgan McCall and ATK. Looking at a hybrid car just up ahead of him, almost spinning through the corkscrew. Yeah, Dion, you did, but then you also retracted your statement. But all good. It was a great dice here by Morgs, and good result for Mercedes. Well done, Morgan. Here we go, big swerve down the main straight. You can now just absolutely
The leader has finished the race.
donut that Mercedes if you want to. Morgan McCall comes over for the win. Cody Sherrod coming off the mountain. The gap back at least 30-something seconds. So Cody Sherrod doing great damage control and holding on for Team PWSR and coming in for a good second. That was actually first and second place as results. Kieran Patterson having to retire due to PC problems, and that allowed Brandon Kruger to come up into third place. There he is, not that far back actually, and he comes over the line. He was in fact only 5 seconds back of Cody. Ryan Ottens over the line. That's your fourth place driver with Mac van der Merwe, who left both his pit stops right till the last 10 minutes, and he comes over for a solid fifth. That's an interesting strat this man's got. Oh, and the cars are just killing each other here on the end of the main straight. Jan Bager Grobler comes over for 6th place. Hybrid Academy Pepsi Warriors, that's a great result. JW Volskin comes in for... No, he doesn't. He let Daniel Rowe go over the line ahead of him. That's some team affair going on there, so good result for them. Daniel Rowe does in fact get 7th. JW 8th. Kalen Mauer comes in for 9th place, so good result there. And Bernard Barkhuizen rounds out your top 10. So that's that, ladies and gents. Thanks to everybody for joining us this evening. Thanks to you guys on the YouTube channel for coming around. Not too much action considering it was a wet race, but there we go. That's it from me. I'm going to say hope you guys have a good little weekend. It's Le Mans 24 hours this weekend, so enjoy. And I'll catch up with you next week, possibly streaming the Sprint Series and streaming round 7 of the GT3 Champs. So from me, I'm going to say cheers all and have a good evening.